What's up, Scream Dream? We out here. Actually, did you watch my entire review? Did you watch the entire review for Lost? So I'm pretty sure that I talked about it. If I didn't, then I watched the epilogue. I don't think I did a reaction to it, but I did see it. So I did see it. I saw what happened with Hurley and Ben picking up what's his name. It's been so long already. Been so long already. It's a very interesting epilogue. But either way, I didn't review it specifically. Yeah, I didn't review it specifically, but definitely. Mad Men. Is surprised it didn't crack my top 10, bro. My top 10 is it's too many good shows. I'm gonna have to just start calling it a top 20 because the reason why Mad Men didn't crack my top 10 because a lot of character development in Mad Men, no doubt about it, but it's not I don't think there's anything in my top 10 it could have taken out where I would have been like, okay, it's better than this, you know. Because we're talking about um, Breaking Bad, Nirvana and Fire, Black Sails. Like if I can think of my top 10 right now, right? We're talking shows that have just it's tough to put Mad Men in my top 10, man. Like it didn't even cross my mind. We have Lost in my top 10 now. I had to push something down the line to put Lost up there. Um, there's shows that I haven't like reacted to, shows in the past. This is in my top 10. So there are shows there that just like I don't think Mad Men is gonna touch. I'm just being honest. Just being honest, bro. It's just not go. It's not gonna touch. There's so many good shows that I've watched. Even watching over 10 shows since I've, you know, teen TV shows since I've been watching. You know, Game of Thrones is up there for me until the final season. And Game of Thrones is not in my top 10 anymore. Still a good show. Good 6 seasons. 7 and 8 dropped the show a lot for me, especially the final season. The final season was trash, pretty much. No way that Lost and Black Sails beat it. You're kidding, bro. You're kidding. You're kidding, man. You know the thing about Mad Men when it comes on to what you can learn. That's why I kind of like simplified what I was doing for the for the review because it's like a lot of people was like, is it about this or is it about that, right? And when it came on to my review, the way how I approach all of my reviews, right? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm really not saying that it couldn't have cracked it. It's more of like I don't feel like it deserves to be in my top 10. Now it might be in yours, right? But I don't. It's like tapping on the door. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like how a lot of people now is saying that Steph Curry should be in the top 10, you know, NBA players of all time. I don't believe it, but he's tapping the door. I don't think so. I think there are 10 better players than Steph Curry, hands down. Now, if other people want to put him in the top 10, that's cool, right? But my top 10 is so, and this is not like a bias towards Mad Men in any way. Trust me, it's not even a bias, against it because I think that if we got resolution, um, when it comes on to certain characters in Mad Men, I think it could have been better. I think it could have been better. Like people are still like somebody was saying to me like in my reviews, it's like why didn't I talk about or what did I have against Joan, right? Like what did I have against Joan? And I'll probably make a second video talking about the side characters that I think um didn't really need to be in the main review. Like yes, I have stuff to talk about. People like Pete, Joan, um, like what's his name? Why am I drawing so much blanks right now? I finished Mad Men a long time ago, months ago. I think I finished Mad Men in like February or something. So it's been a while. Um, uh, I can't. It's when people are talking about certain characters that they like, right? Especially somebody like Joan. And I was like, if you place Joan, the character, in the real world, there's a lot of things that Joan did that I did not like. And if you've watched me, you've seen my reaction when it comes on to Joan. The only thing is that she's an attractive woman. That's it. When it came on to her attitude and the things that it did, I completely disagreed with how she lived her life. Right? I completely disagreed with how she lived her life overall. Bruh, you're sleeping. You're sleeping. You're you're definitely sleeping. How can you possibly say that Mad Men clears Breaking Bad? Are you nuts? You want something, bro. You are on something. Mad Men is it's a good show, but it's not clearing Breaking Bad. Talk about something else. It's not. And I can objectively say that 99% of people is going to disagree with you with that take. It's deeper. When you say deeper, what do you mean? Breaking Bad is not about people living ordinary life and we're peeking into their existence. It's a completely different concept. So you can't judge the two based off of, oh, there's plenty of life lessons to learn when it comes on to Breaking Bad app. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of life lessons to learn in that. Also, there's plenty of lessons to learn when it comes on to Mad Men as well. Mad Men is completely filled with damaged people. Like the people that was featured in the show, they're all damaged, except for maybe Cooper. Cooper seems like the only one that didn't really have anything grand happen in his life. He was always like the one that was pretty cool. Um, but everybody else was their life was just all over the place. You know what I mean? Like nobody got redemption, really. Nobody got redemption. I think Peggy waited too long. I think she waited too long, regardless of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, she ended up, you know, finding out that somebody actually loved her at the end, right? I think she waited too long. I think I think Peggy could have found love sooner, but you know, she got her heart broken a few times, but you know, just bad choices. You know, it's too plot driven. It was just about Walter. It was just about Walter. It was it like the whole thing. It was about Walter and Jesse. That's it. That's who drove the plot. I mean, there were other supporting characters, of course, you know, but it was really just all about Walter, and Jesse. That's it. They went through the most, whether it's together or separate. They went through the most. Yeah, The Sopranos is in my top 10. The Wire, I'm gonna have to rewatch to see how that goes. You know, I'm gonna have to rewatch The Wire because I've seen it. I don't understand why it's in people's top 10. I guess when I was watching it, I wasn't really analyzing it for that. So maybe there's a lot that I missed or I forgot about that show. You know, so it's The Wire is not in my top 10, but it seems like a lot of people has it in their top 10. So I'm gonna, you know, rewatch it, record my reaction because God, you know, doesn't seem that memorable to me. It's kind of like when I watch um, Dexter. Dexter is a really good show. Didn't end up being in my top 10. Watched it a long time ago. You know, good shows. Those are good shows. Popular, right? Like something like Bates Motel I'm watching right now. That's not gonna be in my top 10, but a lot of people have it in their top 10. And I like certain influences. You say just finished Prison Break. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are gonna have certain shows, you know, in their top 10 that I'm going to, you know, whether it's disagreeing, it's not necessarily that they're bad shows, you know, but there's going to be certain things that I hold in higher regard than maybe you have in a high regard. You know what I'm saying? Like some people say that Prison Break is a top 10 show. It's not really to me. It's a good show. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it thoroughly, but it's not in my top 10 anymore, right? Because the things that I value about TV shows, right? And don't get me wrong, Mad Men is it's a really deep show. It's a deep show, flawed people trying to make their way in the world. That's that's essentially the concept of it. Of just watching people just make terrible terrible decisions and reaping the consequences of that in their daily lives. And that's cool, you know. Um, Nothing against it, but it's not in my top 10 now. You think AOT was bad in the fourth season? For real? The final season? Bro, what is your taste for stuff? Like I gotta ask you that question. What is your taste? Because if you say AOT went downhill in season four, I I want to know what you didn't understand because it's got to be something you don't understand about that story to say that that story fell apart in season 4, especially when they got back to Paradise. What do you mean? What happened? What in particular do you have a problem with the plot point? What did you have an issue with? Let's talk about it because it's not a lot of people that share that sentiment. I think most people when it comes on to it, like most people have this, the sentiment of it was great. I think AOT is a 9 out of 10 show easily. Is it a masterpiece? Maybe, but for some people it's gonna be a masterpiece. Um, but I think most people, the in general, is going to say it's a 9 out of 10 show. If you truly understand and have a discussion about that show, I think it's something that when it comes on to the deep reveals, like it goes deep too. So you understand it fine. It was really rushed. Most new characters were under developed. What new characters? Levi had crazy plot armor, so Levi should have died. Okay. Aaron's final plan was dumb. How so? What did it need to be in my top 10? Um, Prison Break was, I would say, there's a lot of things they could have fleshed out a lot better, right? In like the final season, even though I thoroughly enjoyed the show, but I think some things could have fleshed out a lot better in general. I love the characters, um, but I think let me see if I can remember anything specifically. It's been like a year now since I finished watching Prison Break. Yeah, everybody knows that. Hello, Darkness. That's I don't think anybody is disputing that. It's in my top 10. So it's in my top 10. Like I don't need nobody to come in my comment section and tell me that Nirvana and Fire is not a top 10 show. That should be objectively true. That should be objectively true, right? I know it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not coming out of Hollywood, it's a C drama, but anybody with any sense can watch that show and put it on your top 10 shows immediately. That show is so well done, it's so well written, like you can't avoid it. Um, some things some people just don't have a connection with. It wasn't, bro. It wasn't a few days later. What are you talking about with Levi? There was a lot of time that passed from Levi getting blown up. You really think that happened in a few days? Get the timelines right, man. Get the timelines right. Get the timelines right. If you didn't enjoy it, that's completely understandable. The one issue that I would say that I had with the ending of Attack on Titan was the thing that was influencing them, right? The thing that was influencing them that they killed in the end, the spinal thing um that gave the Titan powers in the first place. That was kind of weird to me. Um, but I think what the scene between Armin and Eren, when he was trying to explain to Armin what happened and how he was regretful of the decision that he made to kill. Because the thing about it is this: nobody is supposed to be right. That's the whole premise of Attack on Titan, is like nobody is right. Nobody has the answers. He knew what the future was and he tried to change it and couldn't change it no matter what decision he made. And when he explained that, that's when everything kind of sunk in, because it's like, trust me, most of us in those situations are going to make the same decisions that Eren made. Because guess what? We can't just lay down and die, which is what Zeke wanted to do. We can't all just lay down and just, oh, kill me, right? So if we have the power to go out there and crush the entire world, and the entire world wants to kill you, and you have the power to kill the entire world, What are you going to do? Right? I was over here minding my own business. You came over here, you killed my mom, you do all of these different stuff, infiltrated us, right? This whole time we thought Titan just didn't like us. And then all of a sudden, we find out that there's a whole nation that just hates our people, just hates me to exist. You understand? Have nothing to do with whatever happened how many years ago. And we're suffering for it. You're trying to tell me that you're not going to take up arms against these people, right? Yes, it looks bad. It's genocide, right? It looks bad. But I think the majority of people would make that decision. It's like, I'm just going to protect my friends. I'm just going to protect the people who I care about. Pirates didn't do anything to anybody. They've been scared of Titans their entire lives, and then all of a sudden we find out, oh, there's people over there sending these people to torture us. What are you going to do? Huh? So your point is that people who were supposed to, so that's why you're deducting points, because people who were supposed, look how many main characters we lost throughout the series, bro. Great characters that we lost throughout the series, and because some of them didn't die, some of them got turned into Titan. What's his name? We lost Jean, and what's his name? They got turned into Titan at the end too. So I don't understand, what type of death did you want to see? Bad deaths? Because we lost so many main characters in the series already. Like, what? We lost Hanji in season 4. What do you mean? We lost Han. I don't understand. Your reasoning is terrible for not liking the show. For deducted points, your reasoning is terrible, bro. We lost so many characters before. Did you want to see more die? I don't understand. They survived this entire time, near death experiences and all of these different things, right? And you're like, they should have died. That's why I don't like it. It's like they should just kill off the whole cast and let uh, and let what's her name cut off Aaron's head, and you would be okay with that, huh? You don't like insane plot armor, right? I don't. I Nobody really likes that, but that's a part of practically everything that we watch, right? Especially when it comes on to stuff that involves killing, right? You can't just kill off your main characters, right? Everybody that was there was essential. That I think at the end was essential to the plot. I think that when it comes on to what happened to Zeke at the end, it wouldn't have been satisfying if it wasn't Levi that killed him. It just wouldn't have been satisfied. It's kind of like with the situation that time and time again we got the battle between Aaron and, of course, but in the end, didn't I admit that he was a necessary character? But even though I wanted him dead, I did say that in Prison Break. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have those characters that are necessary for the plot, right? That you can't kill off those characters, because then you're just messing up your own story. Somebody has to be there at the end. You can't look at it and be like, it's only Misaka and Aaron, right? It can't be. You can't look at it like that. Um, you can't look at it like that, because it's you can't. If you say that people have too much plot armor, you gotta learn. You gotta learn to live with it. Is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna deduct points unless it's an absolutely unnecessary character in the story that needs to go. then they just need to go, right? I'll give you guys a perfect example. If you guys have not watched the 100, there's a character in the show that after season one, there's 7 seasons of the show. I'm through season four. Just got through season four, and there's a character in the show that at the end of season one, or I would say at the end of season two, he became completely relevant, right? Completely relevant to the plot, to everything. And I kept saying, why is this character still in the show, right? Why are they there, right? And then he finally dies at you know in season four, right? And I'm like, okay, good. His relevancy is just not necessary. The things that went on from the end of season two, season three, and season four, right? We could have you could have used another. You could have completely introduced a new character to do all those things that he did, and he wouldn't have. I wouldn't have batted an eye at it because I wouldn't give a damn. But that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have those things, so you can't. I don't think you should deduct points for plot armor in a show. I watched Naruto, man. Like that show, the characters in the show, and I watch Naruto and I watch One Piece. One Piece characters just don't die, but we still love it. You know what I'm saying? We still love it, right? And you're gonna blame Attack on Titan for that? Come on, man. It's a little bit weird. Ass pulls an insane luck, bro. But that's the beauty of it, though. Like, I understand why you don't like it when things are plot driven, right? No, she's. I understand that. I listen. I don't like it sometimes either. But as I said in a review for a show, I'm not gonna deduct points for that because I know that's a part of the stick, right? That's a part of it. There are characters that you're gonna wait. It's like, oh my god, they're always fighting. Why do they never die? You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have that. There's plenty of situations, especially when it comes on to anime, bro. Like it's gonna happen. It's a battle shonen. The main character is always gonna be in some shit, right? And they're not going to die. They're gonna overpower some situations. They're gonna have near death experiences. It was like, oh, you should have died from that. You know, you should have died from that. Well, yeah, duh. Of course, you should have died from that. If it was, absolutely realistic. Now, if we were watching a live action thing and you see that happen, I could understand where you're coming from, bro. But it's anime, man. I can't deduct points for that because all of these people are doing things that is impossible for human. It's not as grounded as live action is supposed to be, right? Those people walking around with magical powers and shit, right? Life is always in danger. You can't do that, man. It's kind of weird. Nah, I wouldn't put it on that level. Like, nah, I can't put it on that level. Because they did an they did a good job of wrapping up the series and actually, you know, closing a lot of the plot points and stuff like that. I don't think there is a plot hole in Attack of Titan that was left for us to wonder about. I think they closed everything in a nice little bow, and the message was very clear. Now, if you have issues with the character, by all means, you can do that with the character deaths. But regardless, you know, I think that's just a part of watching a battle shonen, or whatever. It's gonna happen when it's way too much. The non-anime top 10? No, it is not. No, it's that. What would have made the story better for you, Screen Dream? What would have made the story better for you? Since as you have all this criticism and all this smoke for Attack on Titan, what could have made it better? You express regret about the series conclusion? Yeah, because he actually he messed up the end in the manga. He messed up the end. People didn't like how he ended it, and the anime corrected the ending. You got what, 30 episodes? Two of them being like an hour and a half movie length long. How many episodes did you want them to? What did they need to flesh out? Which characters should have fleshed out more? Because which characters? I don't know what more about the world you needed to know. Misaka? I guess you have an argument there. It's Mikasa, by the way, not Misaka. Right? I could agree with you there. It could have fleshed her out a little bit better. Um, but it's not much there. They could have given us more about our Oriental background. They could have done that, yes. But it's not much there because I think when yes, I have Breaking Bad over Prison Break. Jesus Christ, guys are just like, like, bro, it. I don't understand this, right? There's always going to be, but this is the reason why when I do my reviews, I tell people to stop. Don't get your panties in a bunch if I don't like the show as much as you do, or take the review with a grain of salt because it's every review is subjective. Okay, it's subjective. It's not an objective truth that I'm saying. Oh, it's not in my top 10, or I'm giving it this score because objectively this is what it is. Right? That's it's not it. You get what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying. That's the reason why I say those things is because I don't want people to get offended by the fact that it's not. We can argue all day about if this show is better than this show, or whatever. A lot That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people have The Wire in their top 10. I'm probably not going to feel any different when I rewatch it, but I probably will. We don't know. I don't know. Like, there are shows that people mention that are like, "Oh my god, the show is so great." And then I'm like, I don't understand what's so great about it. I don't know. No, I didn't say it was high for that. You said, no, you said that Mad Men is a better show than Breaking Bad. That's what you said. And I'm like, there's no way you could come to that conclusion. You can say you like Mad Men better, right, than Breaking Bad. But objectively, most people is going to disagree with you on that. So in general, your opinion is your opinion, but I respectfully disagree. that's That's what I'm saying. I think most people are going to say that Breaking Bad is a better show. Lesser seasons, got to the point, right? The plot was great. And if you put those two shows in front of, I think most fans are going to tell you watch Breaking Bad first. Now, you might have an emotional connection with the characters in Mad Men, which I did, but I don't think it's a better show than Breaking Bad, right? Let me tell you the thing about Mad Men is it's sad. It's sad. And it's going to resonate with you in a different way than a show like Breaking Bad brings you to all types of emotions. Mad Men don't necessarily do that, right? It doesn't necessarily. I don't think there was any time in Mad Men that I was like anxious. Like, I don't think there was any time that I was watching this show that I felt anxious or afraid for a character, right? So I think that's probably the difference that I would say when it comes on to Mad Men characters, because it's like, you know what Mad Men is. Yes, it might be you know, we might say it's a deeper show because it's just concentrated on the characters in general. You know what I'm saying? We're watching them work in a day job, marketing, advertising, right? That's what we're watching the characters do. We're actually watching their daily lives taking place and what's happening in their daily lives and how they interact with each other, right? So it's way more down to earth, way more um, realistic, if you will. You can argue to say maybe the time that it was done in. We can argue that as well, right? You were anxious when Lane died. I was sad. How does that give you anxiety? There was a lot of times that show. What do you? Breaking Bad have you at the edge of your seat a lot of times when you watch that show because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if Walter's going to die here. Jesse got himself in a lot of trouble in that show. He was worried about him, regardless of whether he was high at the time or when he was sober. It doesn't matter. But that show was very anxiety driven. If you're really immersed into the show like that, because it involves a lot of crime, right? And even though you're not necessarily supposed to be cheering on drug dealers, you know what I mean? You still resonate with the character, knowing that Walter, had cancer and all these different things, right? That was going on in his life. Him trying to, hide all of this stuff, knowing that his brother-in-law is the cops. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't bring you anxiety, bro. You think that characters matter more than plot? That's okay. You have a different outlook on TV shows than I do. I love when shows um, concentrate on characters, but I also like when they have a good plot behind it as well. And as I said, Mad Men doesn't really have it doesn't have a plot. It's all about the characters, right? You're anxious when they found his body. I mean, I didn't know. Like watching the show, I didn't know. I mean, he tried to do it before. I thought he was, you know, like in was it the same episode? I mean, he tried to kill himself in the car, and then, I didn't know that it was gonna find because I thought he was off of that because it was like he had an epiphany. Looked like, but he went in the office and do it. So I wasn't expecting it. So it wasn't necessarily of like when they realized that he hung himself in the office. Like there was no anxiety there. I was shocked, but because I wasn't expecting it, that's not gonna create anxiety for me. I'm not gonna be anxious about that because I thought he was out of the woods. with that. It was shocking because I didn't know it was going to happen, but that's not going to create anxiety for me. But it's okay if it was for you. Well, it does. I'm not saying that Breaking Bad is a show you can watch over and over and over again. Mad Men is not that for me. I don't. I mean, rewatchability. I talked about it. Rewatchability is not that high for me when it comes on to Mad Men. I don't even remember what I gave the rewatchability, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't 10. I'm pretty sure it was not 10. So I can understand, but Mad Men is not a show that I would constantly watch. I'll maybe watch somebody watch a few episodes of it, like on a reaction or something like that. But I don't think it's something that I would want to watch again. Like I would pick up, 10, 15 years from now and be like, I want to watch some Mad Men. I don't think it falls into that category for me. I've only seen it once. Do I need to see it more times to know if I want to rewatch it again? Prison Break has a lot more anxious moments, yes, but plot twists, surprises. I would say you're right about that, Woody. I would agree with you on that for sure. It has more moments in it that you're anxious about. But as I said, that's not the only thing that I judge the shows on. Man. How can you judge rewatchability pure base? Because I can know if I want to watch something again, Scream Dream. What do you mean? There's plenty of shows that after I finish watching it, I immediately want to watch it again. So I can tell. I can tell. I don't have to watch something again to tell if it's rewatchable. Because rewatchability is all based on how you feel about something. It's not something that you actually have to have experience to know, right? Or am I wrong on that? Do I have to rewatch something to know if it's rewatchable? I don't think so. But maybe you know better. Yeah, moments like that is just crazy, and that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just brutal. Wouldn't I know it better? Know the rewatchability better? I mean, I guess you could say that, but I'm saying if a show ends, right? If a show ends and you have no desire to go back and watch the show, like do a rewatch immediately, right? Then the rewatchability scale for me is gonna be really low because there's plenty of shows I could name shows that are in my top 10 that I would rewatch right now if I need to, right? That I would rewatch right now, no problem, no questions asked. I would rewatch it right now. Since I finished Nirvana and Fire, I, I finished Nirvana and Fire. I don't remember what year I finished watching it, but I've rewatched Nirvana and Fire season one 2 times already since I finished reacting to it on the channel. I've rewatched it 2 times. It's that good for me, right? It's that good for me. Now take something like that where you know exactly what the plot is, you know exactly where the surprises are coming from, right? You're not getting that from Mad Men. You're not getting that. Mad Men is extremely episodic, right? It's very episodic. This, maybe a dialogue is gonna pop up that you didn't hear before or you didn't recognize before. Like I'm just keeping it a bean, dude. It's not that rewatchable to me, right? Um, Other shows just started Joy of Life again on the channel for season two. I rewatched season one before I jumped into season two. Right, the all 46 episodes I watched. I didn't fast forward through anything. I just rewatched it to kind of, refresh my memory of the show. And I still will go back and watch the entirety once the season two is over. I would still go back and rewatch it because I enjoyed the show that much, right? And Joy of Life is not in my top 10, but it has better rewatchability to me than Mad Men. So I don't have to rewatch a show because when you rewatch something, it's all about how you feel about it. It's not necessarily that, you know, because you're saying that it's a great show. It's all about how you feel about it. And that's why I said reviewing is subjective. It's all about how you feel about something when you would rewatch it, right? You're not going to just rewatch it you know what I'm saying, just because, oh, it's a show that was great, right? Since I've watched Game of Thrones, I have not gone back and rewatched Game of Thrones, right? I have not gone back and rewatch it because I didn't like the ending. So it's all about how I feel about this. Full about it. Does Game of Thrones deserve a rewatch? Absolutely, it deserves a rewatch, especially if you're watching House of the Dragons, right? If you're watching House of the Dragon, it deserves a rewatch. But season 8 is terrible, and I tell everybody that season 8 is the worst, probably the worst high budget TV series that I've ever watched in my entire life. It did nothing. It was just a big spectacle. That's all season 8 of Game of Thrones is, just a big spectacle. Dragons here, fire there, and weird incest stuff. It didn't wrap up one single prophecy. I mean, come on. A lot of prophecies needed to be tied up, and none of it did. Come on, man. You gotta get you just being reasonable. Is it worth the watch? It is. Season two is worth it, but just be prepared for a very slow start. That's what I tell everybody. Just prepare for a very slow start, because they take a lot of time to build up the main character of the series, of season two, because it's set like 50 years after season one, so they take a lot of time. The show gets good after about, I think, like episode 15 or 16 or 17, but it's somewhere in the teens. It gets really good, and then it's it's up from there. It's up from there. So it is worth the watch, right? If you've never seen it, right? So it gets really good, and it's the plot is really good. I think everything about season two, but just that the slow start turned a lot of people away from it. Um, but I still say, watch it, because there's a lot of callbacks. Lin Shu is mentioned a lot. Well, not a lot. He's mentioned some because he's a legend. Okay, so he's mentioned some. So you'll have that kind of nostalgic connection to season one. Um, but I think it's a pretty good clock though, because I think I shed a, a few tears in season two that I did not expect, because it's a lot. All right, the thing about season two for Nirvana and Fire is this: out in a synopsis, right? Is that I think there's less characters for them to concentrate on. So, in turn, what you get is a more focused storyline around a few characters that is dealing with a lot of things, right? Dealing with a lot of things. You know how it goes, with DC dramas. So I think it's definitely worth the watch, in my opinion. A lack of plot makes it more rewatchable, in my opinion. Okay. because most of the excitement in the plot-driven story hinges on what you don't know. Okay. Yeah, they post my reactions on Billy. Is it Billy Bill? I don't remember. Billy Billy. I think that's the name of it. It's like the China's YouTube or something like that. I don't know, but I know that my reactions are there. I don't yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't get that kind of love on my regular channel, but I know because I'm one of the few people that actually react to C dramas. So I know. Sabura, the movie, Blood on Rome. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna get back to the Italian mafia stuff soon enough. There's a few that I need to do that was suggested. So um, it's like Nico Nico. Uh, if it's um, yeah. So China's Nico Nico. What's Nico Nico? I don't know what Nico Nico. Oh, China it is China's Nico Nico. Oh, those movies are on Netflix. Okay. You guys need to get to the Discord if you can. Get to the Discord and leave the suggestions. And there's a channel on the Discord for movie and TV shows um, suggestions. It's a good place to put them so I don't forget. I have a long list to get through. So saying China is Nika Nika. Okay. Yeah, get to the Discord that have and you know put those things in the suggestion because I check it from time to time to make sure that I'm keeping up with a lot. Or of course you guys already know that if you want shows to be reacted to quicker, there's always the Patreon. It's always I know I don't push my Patreon on people, but you know, because it's just for people who wants to have early access to stuff because there's a lot of stuff that I react to. All anime that I react to is free on Patreon. If you just join for free on Patreon, it's all my anime reactions are there because I stopped uploading anime because it's too much. It's too much stress. Even my expanse episode got blocked just out of nowhere today, and I'm gonna have to re-upload that. So yeah, have to deal with that shit. So I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. I'm trying. you know, I'm trying. I'm doing YouTube for what now? For 6 years, going on 6 years. Um, I've dealt with a lot. Shadow band, all of that good stuff. You know, all that good stuff. I gotta watch out for all that little stuff. So it is what it is. All right. So yeah, one of these days I'm gonna post my top 10. And my top 10, it can change. It's not set in stone. It can change. Maybe one of these days, people has been telling me to react to Better Call Saul, which is the spin-off of Breaking Bad. So I might get to that soon enough, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, And you know, it's not like there's a lot of stuff in my top 10 that is not like super popular. I think at least 5 shows that I have, maybe not 5, but there's shows that I've watched, you know, that is not like hold on. Let me go through the list. The list. Let me go through the list here. See what we got. All right, Eric. Do you? All right. Let me go through. Let me go through my playlist, old and new. All right. We've seen. It's my playlist. What is this? Okay, we've seen like. All right, Mad Men recently. Lost, Gamora. Um, Gamora is in my top 10. Recently finished in my top 10. It pushed out a show. I don't remember what show it pushed out, but I put it in my top 10 because it's an awesome show from start to finish. Did what it needed to do, didn't overstay its welcome. Great show. But somebody like Scream Dream would probably not have something like Gamora in his top 10 because there's too much plot, right? You have Lost. Lost was great. I think at one point when I finished Lost, I think I had it at like number 10, and then it fell off because something else took its place. It was a little bit better. The Last Kingdom is in my top 10 as well. Somebody translates my reaction? You're lying. I thought they just put it up there. I've seen some of my reactions over there, but in China's largest anime website, and they gained 10,000 followers in a month. That is like TikTok. Yeah, I don't get that kind of love on YouTube. I should just post my stuff over there, but I need to. If hey, whoever is uploading that stuff, let me know if they want the originals. I could send them the original stuff so that they don't have to like go through any trouble to like if they're editing my stuff, because I don't care. Right, so as I said, The Last Kingdom, you know, plus the movie in my top 10. Right, of course, Nirvana and Fire. Sons of Anarchy, not in my top 10. Great show, not in my top 10. And Sons of Anarchy, I don't know. Sons of Anarchy is not in my top 10, but I'm like, should it be? I don't know. I don't think so. All right, Prison Break, of course not. Peaky Blinders, that's a tough one. I'm a holdout. I'm a holdout on Peaky Blinders. What else? I have a few over on the original channel. Jenny's dad is in Sabura. Okay. Yeah. So there is shows, as I said, but I think my top 10 is pretty solid. Mad Men is in your top 10 TV shows, Scream Dream? Is it in your top 5 TV shows? Is it in your top 5? Because if it's in your top 10 but not in your top 5, like what's your number 1 show? Let's see what you got. What's your number 1 TV show of all time? And please don't say Mad Men. The Walking Dead as well. Good show. Was in my top 10 very early on, not anymore. You said not just the Chinese drama, the foreign drama? What do you mean? Like, they watch the regular TV shows that I watch too? I guess Stream Dream dived out. I don't know, he's not in here no more. Rack it up. I live it so hard. Except for Bobby. Well, I revealed my favorite characters in my review for the show. So now in the show, I would say it's um, it's James. I would say at this point in the show, it was James, Bobby, and Christian. That's that. You're Yeah. All you guys are like diehard Expanse fans. Diehard Expanse fans. I don't know, man. The Expanse might not make it in my top 10. I know they're gonna crucify me for that. Why don't you like James, man? What is it with y'all people that don't like James? What is it about him that you guys don't like? I guess I just like talk him up so much, right? And I think he's a great character. I think he's a great character for a lead in the show. He is too weak. What do you want him to be like, Amos? Who in the show would you consider a strong than Hugo? Who would you consider to be strong? Huh? As a character. If you say James is weak, I don't understand where you get that notion from. Drummer? Really? You think Drummer is a stronger character than James? Drummer, Amos. Amos is a stronger character than James? You 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 know what I think it is? I think it's because James is quote unquote good throughout the whole show. And I think because his character development was always just him. And I think that's why you guys have this notion about James. But I think he's a great character because at least you know what you're getting with him. Him and Drummer is probably the strongest characters when it comes on to that because they are this way and that's how they are. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes you can't avoid when it comes on to you being chosen to do something, you can't avoid it, right? You can't avoid it. It's not about okay, I want to do this way, but then opportunities comes along to pull you into a different space. When you're meant to do something and you don't want it, I think some of the coolest leaders ever when you're not called to do something but you do it anyways and do it gracefully. And I think that's the kind of character that James is. He never wanted all of this responsibility to be thrust upon him, but he did it anyways, right? He did it anyways. And I think some of the best leaders you have, when it comes on to drummer, you know what I'm saying? Her conviction when it comes on to, her being a belter, and she stood for that. She has that, you know what I'm saying? And I talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I talk about all that stuff. So you guys will get to see it at the end. Yeah. Why is it that you're telling me these numbers, bro? Don't tell me these numbers, man. Don't tell me these numbers, man. Yeah, I mean, don't tell me these numbers, man, because now you're making me feel like I'm just wasting my time on YouTube. Just wasting my time on YouTube, man. I don't know. Do you see like is my joy of life um reactions season 2 is there? You know, but I'm just saying, man. When it comes on to the X-Men, it's an awesome show with a lot of great characters. You know, a lot of good characters, but somebody like um, Scream Dream, he probably don't like it. It's too much plot. It's too much plot for him. Oh, the new ones are there already. Okay, I just watched like 5 more episodes today, so those are gonna be available on Patreon tonight. But yeah, glowing review, man, for the Expanse. But as I said, like I like the James character. Um, I like Kamina. I like all the people that pretty much you guys like, but you know, Bobby is one of one. You guys should know by now. Even though everybody was like, "Oh my God, how can you say that about Bobby?" I'm like, yo, I can't talk, bro, about these characters. Like, I can't say anything about it. Like, and related to real life, everybody's just like, ah. In that moment, I was just like, man, y'all gotta be around, you know, the Terabyt Reacts channel a lot longer to understand the stuff that I talk about, because it's just, you know what I'm saying. Y'all make it seem like Bobby could just beat up anybody and everybody. And I'm just like, no, it shouldn't be like that, you know. But it is what it is. I understand where people were coming from. Or, some people were saying, "Oh, you're sexist, you're misogynist, and all this other stuff." And I'm like, I can't point out a fact, bro. Like, I can't point out a fact. It was like, "Oh, I see, you're a sexist." I'm not watching anymore for your reaction. Sounds like, all right, bro. I don't know who you think you're getting upset, but it ain't me. Yeah, there's especially now that we're in um season 4, there's much to come. Um so yeah, it's cool, man. When it comes on to I'm going to have a live stream just for the expanse once it's finished on the channel. So I'm going to have a live stream where we can discuss all the different things that happen and all these different things. Um I've already been introduced to you know, the villainy. Boy, y'all don't know what's coming. Those are some of the best reactions. Man, I was livid watching some of those episodes with this dude, man. Oh my god. Just for season 1, they haven't done season 2 yet. Okay. I was losing my mind, man. I was so mad, so mad. I don't think I think like I think season 4 going into season 5 is the most upset I've been watching The Expanse. The most upset I've been. Like, man. But you guys will get to see. You guys will get to see. We're almost there. We're almost there. It should be uh two episodes a week. Um there are people that are watching the show with me, so I can't like talk about stuff that is not on the channel yet. Um, yeah, but there are some stuff coming down the pipeline for sure. Um, when it comes on to that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I know because somebody told me probably like a year ago that my stuff was on Billy. Why would no? I wasn't upset about it. It's just that what the this character that I'm talking about. You must know who I'm talking about. Okay, that caused all the ruckus and everything, and I was like, y'all need to. When they were, let me say this: when they were about to kill this character, I was like, nip it in the bud, kill him. This dude is going to be a problem down the line. I said it during the reaction. When they were going to kill him, when they were going to space him, I was like, yo, kill him. Anybody you got talking like this, you don't need to vote. This is like this is Hitler's baby. It's Hitler's baby, man. Nip it in the bud. I knew the dude was going to be a problem later on, and they did not kill him. I was mad. I was mad. And look at what ended up happening. Crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy. You know? I'm not saying we should be out here killing babies, but a grown ass man out here. You know what I'm saying? If a man, you hear somebody talking like that, bro, you know that they're not up to no good by any means necessary. Their mission is just, it's, they're off their rockers, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're already doing stuff. You need to end that, bro. Lock him up. Lock him up. People like that don't deserve to be free because they don't care. They don't care. You know? They don't care. That's just what it is. But as I said, you guys will see when those reactions come out, because if y'all think I paused a lot now, bro, them episodes had me so mad. I was pausing to just, I was going off for like 5 minutes at a time, just talking about how much they should have killed this dude. I was like, look at what you got now. Look at it. This is what you got now. You know, this is what happened when you don't listen to me. This is what happened. You know, crazy, man. But impressively enough, the show got better as it went along, and you know, if I like comedy shows, depends on what comedy you're talking about. These are comedy shows, comedy movies, or just like sitcoms. I watch sitcoms, but I don't know if I would do reactions to it though. I would watch comedy movies. I've done it in the past. You've seen a lot of reaction bloggers? Bloggers? What does that mean? Reaction bloggers on Billy Me. All right, man. Take it easy. Take it easy. I just said let me hop on here for a minute, and if you guys have any questions at all, um, you know, we can answer them. Yeah, I gotta re-upload the last one because I know it got blocked. I don't know why. They just blocked it after it, came out like about an hour ago. So I'm gonna have to re-upload it. Yeah, but we'll see what happens with going forward. I'm trying to get a lot of C dramas done. I'm gonna finish watching this season 2 of Joy of Life, and then I'm gonna jump into some other ones. I want to finish The Disguiser as well, and then I want to jump into some other ones. Um, we'll see. So, if you guys are done chatting, you already know. I just asked if I like comedy shows and then just not happen. What about K dramas? Ah, there's a few K dramas that I wanted to watch right after I watched Squid Game. And I'll be honest, I don't remember what happened. I couldn't tell you what happened, why I didn't jump into them, because a bunch of people wanted me to watch. I think this is the thing, right? Around that time when I was really gonna get into a lot of Asian shows, right, from C dramas to K dramas, I got super busy with life, right? I got super busy with life, and also on Patreon as well. A lot of people that was suggesting shows at the top tier, they weren't suggesting any C dramas, K dramas, or anything like that. So I was trying to watch the shows that they were suggesting because they're joining Patreon at the top tier. That's one of the privileges that you get to do. Is it's like if you suggest something, it gets reacted to real quicker. I have a long list of shows to do, so if you join that tier, your show get pushed to the top, right? Shows get reacted to quicker. So none of those shows was coming in, so I just deflected to doing the other stuff that was suggested on Patreon. So that's where we are. That's why I'm getting. That's why a lot of shows that are coming out, like The Expanse, that was suggested on Patreon as well. That's how we ended up watching The Expanse. Um, and when I kind of know that shows are not super popular and they were on Patreon, I just release them all for free, right? I just release them after like a few months or so. I'll release them all for free, like Rain. You know, I released Rain for free. That was suggested on Patreon as well. I released it for free because I don't think it's a show that's gonna do well on YouTube because I don't think the fan base is that big, right? So what I've started to do is to not put dead shows on the channel. I am really, really like I'm this close. I am this close to canceling Bates Motel on the channel because it's literally not even doing 100 views. It's not even doing 100 views, bro. Like per episode, it takes a month to get 100 views. Like crazy. They have 200 million young users. Okay, that's a lot of people. a lot of people. But hey, man, if they're doing that, and I mean, it's the entire episodes are being uploaded there, so not a big deal. As I said, I don't care. What show are you talking about, Eric? Talk You talking about Rain or Bates Motel? No, I finished Bates Motel. I finished it a while back. So I think now we just started season three. I think on the channel. Yeah, I'm very close to actually, stop doing it on the channel because it's not doing well. You know. Um, so I'm thinking about releasing the rest of the episodes. People can just go watch it on Patreon. The ones that are clicking on the videos because um, I wanna I wanna continuously because it's like this, right? When I see not a show is not doing well on the channel, it's very not very motivating for me, right? It's not very motivating. So because I spend so much time editing the episodes and putting them up, and then they only get like 50 views, it's not motivating me to continue to edit these episodes and put them up because I spend so much time doing that, right? So, and in another reason is that it it makes your channel not get recommended a lot to other people. Like if you're not getting views and like interaction and you know what I'm saying, like people, liking the video, or leaving comments and stuff like that. I get one or two comments on those videos. But when your videos are doing well, like how The Expanse does well, well, not as well as other people would, but in in my mind and for my channel, if I'm getting over, 200 to 300 views for any shows that I'm watching, I consider that a success, right? Because that's the average. It's way over the average on the channel, so I consider it a success. So I'd rather upload The Expanse 5 times a week. This is motivating because I know that people are watching, and I know that some people is transferred over to Patreon to watch the full reactions for free. So that's cool. Some of those people, the people that are over there that has joined Patreon for free and are watching the full reactions, right? It's cool for them. It's cool. I understand that they're probably not going to click on the videos on YouTube, but you have those people that are still watching the episodes on YouTube. So I know the views are going to drop on YouTube. So I don't care about that, right? So at the end of the day, it's not very motivating to see your videos do worse than normal, right? Understanding of family and justice. Well, that could be it. I don't know for sure. Because I'm a normal person, which I think normality. I was actually talking about that on my Joy of Life reactions today, where I was just like, they, society wants you to cower so much, and they want to put you in this position of, submission, and they just want to push this agenda on you, and to the point where you're just so docile, right? Where you're just like you don't want to fight anymore. You just accept it for what it is. I'll never sit down and just accept these things because I think when you're pushing all of this stuff on us and our kids and all these different things, I think it's absolutely crazy that you think that you're just gonna do that and get away with it and you're not gonna have any pushback. Why don't you watch a popular show like what? Hello, darkness. What would you suggest as a popular show that I have not seen already? I think I've watched all the popular stuff. Like what TV show right now is like super popping other than like The Boys, and I'm watching that on Patreon. So it's, I don't know what else is like super popular that you would suggest. The Ozark, I've seen it. I've seen the Ozarks on Netflix. I have not watched, to be honest, I haven't watched the final season yet. Came out a long time ago, I know, but I haven't seen it yet. But I've watched the seasons before that. It's the final season that is break up in part one and part two. I have not watched it. I have not watched it yet. So I was watching the Ozarks just on my off time. So I didn't think about even really, you know, I wasn't even thinking that I could actually react to it at the time. I wasn't thinking, because I was thinking, no, nobody's not gonna really, because it's like a version of Breaking Bad. I don't I don't think it's better than Breaking Bad, but I do think it's like a pseudo version of Breaking Bad in a way. Not the same plot, but similar. Um, I've I've tried to react to what's popular, like, you know, I've done it. I mean, that's why like stuff like when stuff is going on, like House of the Dragon comes back next week, right? Is it next week? No, it's not next week. Is it? Yeah, it's next week, right? Yeah, next week Sunday, House of the Dragon comes back, so I'll be on that. The Boys season 4 comes out, but that's on Patreon. It's not even on the channel yet. But House of the Dragon is gonna go straight to the channel because I watched season 1. Season 2 starts next week, so yeah. I think I've watched all the show. I think I've watched pretty much a lot of shows that are like super popular. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the reactions, man. It gets worse. It gets worse. I tell you that. I was just talking just now about how mad I was about a particular thing that happened this with a particular character that went on to do some crazy things, and if y'all haven't heard my thoughts before, y'all will hear them now. Yeah, you've been here a long time, I know. Hello Darkness. But back on the original channel. Yeah, which I had to delete all of my Game of Thrones reactions. So the only thing that's left is I think it's the review, and I think like one episode in season 8, cuz yeah, HBO was not playing around. They hit my channel with 2 strikes. I was like, "Yup, and gone." But at that time I was pretty new to doing reactions, so I didn't quite understand the algorithm and what it picks up and what it didn't. But it helped the channel to grow fast. When I started doing the Game of Thrones reactions, I know I have a channel there that's shadow banned with 7,000 subscribers, so that's great. That's wonderful. So yeah. So yeah, I gotta get that new episode back up because it's blocked right now. For the Expanse. But I'm pretty sure everybody probably went over to watch the full reaction on the Patreon if they really wanted to see it. Cheers. But we'll um, definitely see, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through. If you guys don't have any other questions for me, we're living it up. More things coming to the channel, for sure. No issues. Um, get ready. I'm gonna try to get through Joy of Life pretty quickly so that we can um, get to the one next. I really need to get the boys to the channel. Um, Better Call Saul. It's coming down the pipeline soon enough, so that will come soon. As I said, I am thinking about stop with the Bates Motel because it's just not doing well. You know, it's just not doing well. And for for a while now, I've wanted to drop it, but people, the people that are watching it, they're like, keep putting out the episodes and all this other stuff. I want to do it just for them. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah. So appreciate you guys for coming through, man. I appreciate y'all. I think majority of y'all have dipped out. As I said, this was just really just a session for you guys to come in, say hello, whatnot. If you have any questions or anything like that, that was all this was about. We ended up spending almost 2 hours here, or was it 2 hours? Yeah, hour and 30 minutes. So I appreciate y'all, man. For real, for real, for real. Um, we gonna get that stuff out there, regardless. We gonna get it out. I'm gonna try to be. And hey, man, if you guys like anime, just letting you guys know this. I stream every Saturday, um, around 8 o'clock. I stream anime. So if you watch anime, currently we're getting through a few good ones, I would say. The stuff that I can't put on YouTube. Right. So I stream the anime and I make it available on Patreon for free as well. So if you guys want to come through, come chill with us. That's awesome too. It's just that if you guys are on YouTube, you don't get notified that I'm streaming because I stream only on Twitch. Um, when I'm streaming anime, I don't do it on YouTube because YouTube want to strike my channel down when I stream anime. So link is in the description. If you want to join Twitch, follow me over there and you'll get the notifications when I go live. All right? You guys have been wonderful. I'm out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.